You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, presented by the Only One Media Group. This is the people's choice for quality interviews, celebrities and special guests. Hosted by Demetrius Dini Reynolds. Call in to join the mix at 701-801-9813. For the complete archive of episodes, visit onlyonemediagroup.com and be sure to like us on Facebook at Vigilantes Radio. We welcome all. Enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds. Enjoy the show.
Yo, good morning. There are 20,000 of you guys on the line with us this morning. I guess you guys had your coffee and all that good stuff because this is pretty early for some. But I'm glad that you guys are here, right? Of course, you guys are going to break the internet, but it's all good because I can house all of you guys here. And what I want to tell you about this morning is good luck. Yeah. Have you ever wondered how some people can be lucky enough to be in the right place at the right time? Well, we are all in the right place at the right time if you think about it. It's just that some people don't know it and others are not prepared for it. The folks we call lucky are the people who can see opportunity and who are prepared to take advantage of it. There's always opportunity, even in the most dismissal of times. There are things that need to be done. The people who step forward to do those things are the lucky ones who enjoy success. Opportunity is always present, my friends, but it is rarely obvious. To be lucky, you must learn to look at a situation and see opportunity where others see nothing. This requires an open mind and what we now refer to as out-of-the-box thinking. It requires that you look at situations from many different perspectives, all the time wondering, what if? It requires a certain amount of detachment. If you can view your situation without being clouded by emotion, it requires the courage to try something completely new and the confidence to follow your own path. Lucky people are always and also the ones who are prepared for opportunity. Being prepared primarily requires discipline. Discipline is not easy, guys, I can tell you that. It requires that you put out an effort over a long period of time. It takes discipline to learn new skills, to accumulate capital, to make new contacts and friends. And these are the kinds of things you'll need to take advantage of the opportunities that you discover. You want to be lucky? Open your eyes to the opportunities around you and then discipline yourself to make the most of them. Take it from dini-mussolini.
You're live in the mix. Let's get this started.
Yo, it feels so good to be back with you guys once again. So one time for my people who are indigos and starseeds, and 2 times for my people who are vegans. We are averaging over 34,000 plus listeners, and we've been at this for 3 solid years. I appreciate all you guys who've been rocking with the kid on this journey, and we're still growing, baby. It is all because of you, most definitely. We are the people who have dedicated their lives to music, spirituality, business, literature, art, movies, and research in every aspect. And we want to allow you an opportunity to tell your story. Man, we've had celebrities on the show, from Grammy Award-winning artists, nominees, to actors, comedians, CEOs, technology geniuses, visual artists, from authors to professors and aliens. Or people who think they're aliens. It doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. Come on our show and talk to me. So check it out. To book an interview or just to share a real cool story, email me at vradio@onlyonemediagroup.com. I'm passionate about what I do, just as passionate about what you do, and together, yes, together, we can get your voice heard by the people who should hear it. So let's create something incredible. And with that, hello out there. there, and welcome to another episode of our podcast, Vigilantes Radio. Thank you again, as always, for tuning in and being a part of our audience family. You know the number to dial. It's 701-801-9813 to connect with us or our guests, or you can hop in and mix directly from my website, which is onlyonemediagroup.com. Scroll over to the Vigilantes Radio tab and slap that Go Live button, and you'll be right here live in the mix with all of us or in the chat room. So feel free to shoot over some questions to ask our guests while they are here. And as always, all episodes are available for free download. You can grab that from Spreaker.com/onlyonemediagroup, iTunes, YouTube, the app called Podcast Addict, or over at our website. And that goes for every single episode that we've ever aired.
Well, I don't want to keep 20,000 of you guys waiting any longer, especially if you haven't had your coffee. Oh, my goodness. Or your morning cigarette. I don't smoke, but I know some of you guys may do. And that's cool. Note, this is a judge-free zone here. So, like I said, I don't want to keep you guys waiting any longer. So let's go ahead and dive deep into this interview, because we are the people who have dedicated their weekdays, mornings, and nights to music, movies, news, business ventures, and conspiracies, and just talking every aspect. From our incredible writing and promotion here on our new Facebook page, it's very brand new, so make sure you like it, as well as our Twitter, to our interview and music show over here where we're at now, Vigilantes Radio, or the dive into relationships, money, music, business theory, spiritual living on our show called Skeptics. We spend each and every day giving our maximum effort to create a vibrant, exciting indie community for all of the creative minds that coexist in this beautiful artistic world. Oh yeah, said a mouthful, but it is all true because we do that, right? So today's show is titled The Eddie James Interview, and I'm definitely your host, Dini-Mussolini. So let's go ahead and bring the man of the hour on. Eddie James, thank you so much for being here and taking some time to talk with all of us. I've got a lot of questions, but we're going to have to get pretty serious right here off the drop here, my friend. But first, let's get acquainted. Eddie James, you're now live in the mix with all of us. Welcome to our show. How are you doing, and how are you feeling today?
Excellent. Wow, I'm excited to be here. What a beautiful lead-in. That is some serious stuff you're talking about, and I am so honored and happy to be here today. Thank you for the invitation.
Oh, man, thank you. Thank you for being here. Mr. Eddie James, everybody. So we love stories, man, over here on Vigilantes Radio. So tell us your beginnings. How did you get started?
Oh, man, how did I get started? Well, as a little person running around this world wondering who I was and where I was going to go, I found myself singing along the way, and only to realize that I had a gift, and I started to honor that gift and realize what that gift really meant, and that gift meant that I needed to share it, that it wasn't just meant for me, that it was meant for me to give it away, because I'm here to do service. I do service through my music, through my acting, through my performing. So that's kind of how it started. And then suddenly, I realized I was in a lockdown as a child of late night movies and, the old movie stars. Oh my God, when I discovered Betty Davis. Oh, come on. Early Betty Davis. Beautiful and so powerful, all the way up to the present day actors. So, it started with movies and then moved into movie musicals. And then, the youngest of 7. So I had 6 older brothers and sisters who had, album collections and all kinds of music that I used to sneak into their room and listen to their stuff when they weren't around. And so one of the first singers that I ever heard that caught my eye and turned my head in a way that I had to take notice was Barbra Streisand. And this was like way later than Barbra started. This was like in the 80s. And my sisters used to listen to Barbra Streisand and Tom Jones and this stuff like way before me, so that felt like vintage music, Although
right.
that much too. I don't want to, age anybody, but Barbra Streisand, oh my God, and then into Whitney Houston, all those women that sang big and loud, and that's kind of that. That's like a rough draft, kind of how that all started for me.
Definitely. All right, so like you're interested in, or you're doing acting, both acting and music.
I am.
That's incredible. So at an early age, you discovered your love and passion, and the intriguing of the acting world plus the music world. Like which one did you do first, music or acting?
Well, music was first, actually. Singing was first because I could do it anywhere. I could do acting anywhere too, but I was singing in the basement and singing in the garage and singing in the street. I was one of those kids that walked around the world thinking that that everybody could hear the orchestra that was in my head that I was singing to,
Right.
So the singing started first, and people started noticing the singing first with me as a child and as a young adult. And that's what people started pushing me towards that. And I realized, oh, yeah, other people are noticing this too, and this is good.
So, Eddie, do you remember, like, the exact moment that you realized singing was something that you just had to do, take that step forward?
Yeah, I do, actually. I remember sitting in my living room watching reruns of the Carol Burnett Show.
Mm-hmm.
And realizing that there was a place for me. And I can remember the exact time, my memory, I can remember it being late night in the summer. And I remember being probably 14 years old, watching a rerun all by myself of the Carol Burnett Show and thinking, oh my God, yeah, I can do this. I'm going to do this.
Dope. So, Eddie, tell us about the relationship between acting and music in general. Like, what's the link between them, and how do they feed off of each other in your own work?
Sure, yeah, that's a good one. That's a great question because there's very little, difference in terms of what I hope to achieve in it. And I mentioned earlier that I'm here to do service.
Mm-hmm.
And, the best way for me to do service in this world is through the talents that I have. And the talents that I have are, in acting and singing. Of course, there are many other ways to do service in the world. And I do all of those things as well as best that I can. But to give away my talent in terms of my talent of singing and my talent of acting. So I say all that because to answer your question, I tie it together because it's all about energy and intention.
Mm-hmm.
And so if my energy and intention is around doing service, my energy and intention in acting and singing, it all kind of comes together in telling a story. So whether it's done through a melody, done musically, or done through a melody and script, which is what music is, melody and lyrics,
mm-hmm.
Or just a script, a dialogue written by a playwright or or a screenwriter. It's all done kind of the same way. It's done with an energy and an intention. So when I go to my music, there's very little difference between the two for me. I understand what the energy is, I understand what the story is, and I understand what my intention is and what I'm there to do. And then I do it either through the music or I do it through the acting.
Right. And there is a sense of acting when you're in the studio because, say for a general theme of a song, you have to get in that character of the song to execute it properly. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Yeah. So once I've set up my energy and I've set up my intention, and then I take on the persona of what that intention is, and it's generally done through the perspective of a person, and that person, the core of that person is always going to be me. So when we talk about character, I study acting here in LA, even though I'm working in the industry, it's great to stay in school. That's my philosophy. So I'm always studying, and every week, we talk about character versus what the character is me, So yeah, sure, the playwright, the screenwriter, the composer, the lyricist, they've all written kind of a perspective through a character. But what brings that character alive is me, me, And so, yes, you're right. It's all about creating this world of this human being, this character, as we know, and then I'm in the core of it. Yeah.
Definitely. And I know I'm not alone in wondering where and how your subject matters pertaining to your music from an album like Courage-and-Tenderness gets started. So how does it all come to life?
Yeah, oh man, I love this topic. Thank you. People are asking me about this, about my title, Courage and Tenderness. And yeah, I landed on it, it's really profound for me because it's kind of like when you write a book or when you write a movie or you're writing songs, you don't start out with the title. That's my experience, and in the world of artists that I talk to, the title will come to you. You might have a working title and you keep it and you call it the working title. And then it will land. And for me, Courage and Tenderness, it landed about halfway through. And literally, my music producer turned to me and said, wow, there's something so tender about the way you are at the mic. And it landed on me. And I thought, oh, okay, thank you for that observation. And thank you for that. And then later on, the word courage started getting used and courage has always followed me through in my life.
Right.
I'm a courageous kind of guy, and I'm a courageous kind of guy in a different way. I'll explain that in a minute, too. So courage and tenderness. So those two words kind of started landing on me halfway through the development of the album. And then the first working title was A Voice of Courage and Tenderness, because that's what I had. And I started to realize who I am in this world and how I walk this planet. And I walk this planet in a paradox. I experience sadness and happiness all at the same time. I experience polar, I don't have that illness, but I do experience polar attitudes and polar extremes sometimes, and I think that life is exciting that way. When I look at life, I look at life through the lens of a range of emotion, and I understand life as a paradox. And for me, Courage and Tenderness is a true and honest paradox. It's opposite ends of the spectrum. It's two places that I live constantly, and yet you kind of walk in the middle of it. And years ago, I started asking myself the question: How does a man like me fit in this world? And this, what kind of a man am I in this world? I don't fit into the molds of the alpha male. I don't fit into this mold and that mold and this mold. And yet I identify with a lot of things that our culture identifies as, alpha male, And yet I deal with a lot of things that I identify as the divine feminine, And so our culture, in a lot of ways, defines courageous with the male and maybe tenderness with the female. And these are both two things that I walk with in the world. And so in all of those things, this title landed on me. And the way that I sing and the material that I pick, it represents courage. It represents walking this world courageously, so at the same time walking this world with tenderness. And that's a lot, but that's kind of how it all came together for me.
Definitely. And I could totally agree about the polar opposites, having to deal with both at the same time. And I think it's mostly, a lot of people go through that. It's just, how do you come out at the end? How do you perceive the whole situation? If you get, you could choose to get stuck in those moments, or you can choose to, pick either each side, or you're like me, just let it ride out, because you have to go through it and understand the complexity of what's going on.
That's right. You're reminding me of, I've done a lot of work around this idea of, when we're little, some of the stuff that we learn about, I'll talk about being a little boy, being a man, boys don't cry. How about boys don't cry? How about you need to put yourself up by your bootstraps? You need to move on. You need to see. What you just reminded me of is something that I live with every day, and that is an acute awareness around allowing myself to have a full cycle of my emotions. And no longer do I pressure myself with hurry up and move on. Hurry up and get through that. You need a da-da-da-da-da, or you need the da-da-da-da. You're a man who da-da-da, or, for women, you're a little girl. Little girls don't da-da, whatever that might be for you. And so you just reminded me of that, how important that is for me. I let things go full cycle. I think I heard you say that in a way.
Yep.
I want my life to experience the full cycle of these emotions. You're right. And, yeah.
Do we get this in this album? Oh, no problem, man. Do we get this in this album?
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's such a range. It's such a range of music in this album. It's all cover music, and it's my arrangements and meaning my interpretation. My music producer did the arranging. I brought in my ideas. I talk a lot in metaphors, in the studio, and I'm like, I want strings here, and I want, pull that measure out, double that measure, and and I want you to feel like the clouds have opened and start crying, and I talk a lot in metaphors. The music producer is just extraordinary, Patrick Avalon, and he puts all that together for me. Yeah, so you're going to get all of that in this album.
Awesome. Yeah, guys, you got to let those emotions ride out, or else you'll grow up confused, and because you didn't let yourself experience those things. All right, so let us in on your process, Eddie. Like, take us through the creation of these songs, as truthful as they are.
Yeah, okay, great. Let's use the first song on the album is called Meadowlark. Meadowlark is a song it's by Stephen Schwartz, and it was originally in a musical called The Baker's Wife, produced late 60s, early 70s. Was never a great commercial success, but this one song kind of rose out of that. It's called The Meadowlark, and I bring this up because I always wanted to sing it, and I've sung it for many, many, many years. And the reason I'm going to bring it up in this interview, an important reason, it was originally written for women, and I do some of that stuff on this album, and I sing a lot of that stuff in life, and I think that's an important thing for today's culture, for us to know that is an opportunity available for us. Is that because a song may have been written for a woman, or because a song may have been written for a man, it doesn't mean that the opposite gender can't sing it.
Right.
And I'm not talking about what your preferences are, and I'm not talking about any of that stuff. I'm talking about what the story says, and if you identify with the story, and I identify with this story, and I want to briefly talk about it a little bit, because it's a powerful understanding of me, my life, and this music. And this song, in a nutshell, talks about a young woman who was in an arranged marriage. And she talks about the metaphor of a bird, the meadowlark, and how an old king, found this bird, and the bird was blind. And he took the king in, and he said he would give the bird all the riches in the world if all she had to do was sing for him. And then as the bird sang for this king, encaged, by the way, the bird was visited by all kinds of images, the sun god, beautiful images of coral beaches and dolphins swimming. And each time that anyone came to visit, or any image came to visit this bird, they invited the bird to leave. What the bird was meant to do was to fly. And it was a metaphor for this young woman's life, and she wanted out of this marriage. And then suddenly one day a beautiful man appeared for her, a beautiful young man, and asked her to leave. She said no. The bird said no to this beautiful young man because he was devoted to the king, and then the bird died. So in a nutshell, I took this song on, and I said, I love this song. I love the metaphor of the bird being trapped. What I want to sing about how we entrap our lives. And I entrapped my life for years, being afraid of failure. And I said no to everything that came my way. And then one day, a sun god came along and gave me the vision to see that it was possible. And a beautiful young man appeared before me, and that beautiful young man that appeared before me was me. It was me and my best potential. and be me as what I could possibly become in this world? And I said yes. And I said yes, in void of all the fear and all of everything that I was afraid of in life. And I said yes, and I started to fly. And so, and that song became possible for me to sing because I opened up my perception of music, that I couldn't just sing songs about, you know, what men sing about. I wanted to sing about this, you know. So I hope I answered your question. I'm not sure.
Definitely. Definitely. Hey, this is your show, right? This is the Eddie James interview, so you take the
thank you.
Yeah, you take the charge here.
Thank you for that.
All right. So, Eddie, let's talk about acting for a minute. You do have some theater experience, right?
I do.
How did that come about? Because, man, I was terrified of theater.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I came along as a young child again, you know, at the same time that all of those realizations started happening for me, that I could do it. And I wanted to be on the stage. So right out of school, I moved to New York, and I wanted to be on Broadway. So, you know, it's a long and arduous road to get to that level, just like it is in film and TV in L.A. But like you said, you know, I heard you say something earlier before I got on the air. I was listening to you. You're really quite profound. I love the way you speak. And you said something about it takes long. You're welcome. It takes a long period of time. If you remember, you reminded me of something that I've got. I've got the staying power. The staying power, man. You can't get bogged down with failure or no's. You gotta stay around. If you want it, you gotta stay around for it. So anyway, to answer your question, yeah. So I moved to New York, and I knew that I wanted it. I knew that I wanted to be on the stage, and I wanted it. And if you want to act, if you want to be, you know, you want to do it at the highest level, go to where they do it. You know, go to New York. You want to be on Broadway, you gotta go to New York. So, you know, many years of auditioning and hanging around, and I got on Broadway and off Broadway and off Broadway. And, you know, there's lots of opportunity and incredible theater in New York City. That's what you want to do. And you know what? Elsewhere in the world too. It's not just exclusive. But if you went to New York, but you know, if you want to do Broadway, you got to go to New York. But there's, you know, beautiful theater happening in London, beautiful theater happening in most major cities of this world, and not even major cities. Sometimes in the smallest little cities and. Anywhere you want to do it, you can do it. But I wanted to do Broadway, so I went to New York to do Broadway, and that's what I did.
Definitely, and no pun intended, or maybe it is intended, but that is definitely a courageous move to go from your homeland to an entirely different place in the USA, especially a place as big as New York. I mean, you're from a big part of the country, but then to go to another part of the country where faces are not so friendly in New York, and busy. It's me, you know, that type of situation. And and New York is like the mecca for acting and Broadway and all those incredible talents out there. You know, just to go out there and be amongst them. And you're right, man. You have to go where you feel like, you know, the big players are at. Especially if that's the business you want to be in. Yeah. So how was that whole experience for you, man? Like just uprooting your life from one place to another place?
Well, yeah, born and raised in Chicago. You know, outside of Chicago. Yeah, Southsider. And born and raised. So, you know, really one big city to another, one big city to a bigger city. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I always wanted to go there, so never really felt to me as when I went, it didn't feel to me as if it was, you know, kind of uprooting my life. That was the goal, that was the plan. So, So I just did it again, I have to tell you. You know, I was in New York for many, many years, and now I'm in L.A. Yeah. So, and that was the big move. But again, you know, once you line it all up, and once you're in conspiracy with the universe, it happens.
It happens.
That's life. That's the life goal, you know. What is that gorgeous saying I live my life by, you know? It's Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Mm-hmm.
Once you make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen.
Yes.
It's that simple, right?
Mm-hmm. It is.
Yeah, I know. You get that. I don't even know you, and I feel like you get that. You know what that is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, that's right up my alley.
I can hear that. I can hear that in your voice. I can hear that. I know you get that.
Oh, yeah. And you'd be surprised, man. What some people think are weird is kind of normal for me.
Oh, me too. Yeah, that's exactly what I am. Yeah, that's exactly what I am, and I already know that about you, man. Listening to you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you yeah, and you talked earlier about being aware. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, do I love that. Right place, right time. You mentioned.
Definitely.
Yeah, and opportunities that come your way. You know, the right time at the right place is every breath that you take.
It is.
The question is how aware you are.
Mm-hmm.
Because I am exactly where I'm supposed to be every time, even when I am devastated and crying.
Yep.
It's just what I'm going to choose to use, how I'm going to use that in my level of awareness.
Definitely.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you moved me deeply before we even started. I was so in it.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, LA produced a lot of recognizable musical acts, primarily in pop, alternative, hip-hop, and rock. I can't seem to be able to place like an influence in your music, considering I've heard a variety of instruments you've used in different styles, and that goes mostly to the production. Do you feel a sense of separation from other Los Angeles acts?
Well, Los Angeles is very, present and pop and, current and future, which I, identify with all of those things. So my music is cover music, and it's like classic Broadway, classic pop, this particular album. So is there a separation in that? I don't know. Not really. I'm here doing what I do. So, and I'm here. So like what we were just talking about. So is there ever a separation? I don't know. Yes and no. I don't know. It's paradox again, right?
Yep.
There's a place. There's definitely a demographic. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Did I answer your question?
Yeah. We'll take it.
Okay, good.
All right, man. We know that you live to service the world, the planet, the universe. What is your main goal that you wish to reach with your music?
It's kind of simple, It's kind of what you think it is. It's right there. It's entertainment. Entertainment. What do we have? If I want to be part of someone's journey of laughter or tears, to be part of someone's journey in an emotional evolution that they have. I mean, how many times have you had an experience while you listen to your music in your car, or privately in your bedroom or living room, or wherever it is that you kind of really your sanctuary, whatever it is, from meditation music all the way to the grandest funk to the loudest heavy metal or R&B or elevator music. Sometimes when you get that chill, or when you get that thought. Sometimes, in music, we just get a thought, oh, gosh, or, oh, that's right, I remembered, that trigger. I love being part of that for people. Mm-hmm. So I want to take people on a journey and have them experience, and my music is all about storytelling, I'm not no mistake here. I am not background music. I am every song on this album is like a 3-act mini musical play.
Oh.
I got a beginning, middle, and an end. Every song I'm telling you a story. That's my version of it all. So I've got everything from what I was explaining earlier about Meadowlark through Freddie Mercury's Who Wants to Live Forever. I've got some British pop. I'm covering all the way up to Pink. I'm doing a Pink song. I got a Pink song on here.
Cool.
All the way back to Cole Porter. And then I stopped in the 70s and give you a little bit of Barry Manilow.
Awesome.
You know, yeah, and every song's got a story. Every song is a little 3-act mini play. So whatever experience you might want to have during any one of my songs, I am honored and happy and humbled to have taken you on that journey.
Definitely. So, same question. What about in the world of acting?
Yeah. Yeah, well, boy, I would have a similar, or if not same answer, you know, to have to be a host for you through an experience, whether I am playing a character, that word character, you know, my version of a character of a villain, where you might have a response of fear, hatred towards me. You know, those are emotions, and those are important emotions to have all the way through. If I'm playing a lover, you know, and you might fall in love with me, or fall in love with what's happening to me or around me, through me. To be a host for that journey for you, that's what I'm here to do. That is what I am here to do. Bring you along and hopefully take real good care of you along the way. You know, I know that's very metaphoric, but I'm not literally caring for you, but I am. And that's the world of entertainment. You know, I care for you and I bring you along the way, and that you might learn something. You know, you might learn something along the way, or at the end, or later on. You know.
Definitely agree with that. So, as far out of the left field as possible, it's not my normal questioning, but tell us the reason that musicians, actors, and artists should be in control of the overall politics and structure of the planet. Because let's face it, we are certainly not right now. The planet is full of malls, you know, commerce, big business, and, you know, a lot of people are ignoring the law of exchange. What would it be, or what would it look like in this version of the planet if artists, actors, and musicians controlled everything? What would a day look like in the life of Eddie James?
Oh, man, Demetrius, thank you for that question. That is so powerful. It's what's happening in our country right now.
Yeah.
And consequently in our world right now, on this planet right now. Oh, man. It's so, God, I gotta, you know, I just went there right now. Why it's so emotional, right?
Mm-hmm.
So emotional. This is oh boy, terrible time. What a terrible, terrible time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so deeply moved. It's so emotionally exhausted.
Yeah.
So what would the world look like today? In my world, we would be tender with each other, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And we would, we would care for each other. Wow. Yeah. We would, we'd be gentle and loving with each other and that. Yeah. Oof.
And I'm glad you're on our side, Eddie. Yeah, because an album like yours, Courage and Tenderness, is definitely what the planet needs right now. Even the smallest spark can light a fire.
Yeah.
And, you know, and not a fire in a bad way, but a fire as in, you know, for a change, because the world needs more of it. We need more compassion.
Yeah.
For strangers.
You know, it's powerful. Yeah, it's powerful what this celebrity does, you know, when they speak out, when they use their platform for this matter, for any good cause, you know. I love it when the actor and singer and the performer gets up on their platform and uses their celebrity. You know, we saw a lot of that this last election. You know, and we're seeing it this past weekend. And we're seeing, and we're going to see it coming too. I'm in Hollywood, so I'm hearing the rumblings of actors who are activists who've got the big voice, who've got the big personality, where America will turn their head and look at them and listen to them because they're a celebrity, and they've got something to say on the right side. So that's going to be happening. I'm hearing about it out here. So I love that, so kind of in relation to your question too, that I would ever have that platform. I would, I'm not a religious man in the structure of religion, although I have great respect for the structure of religion. I consider myself a spiritual man, and a man connected to the world and the earth and the planet spiritually. In a way, I hope to one day use whenever I given the opportunity, to use my celebrity as a platform in times like this, to talk about tenderness, and to talk about love, and to talk about music. To get back to your question, what would the world look like? The world of Eddie James. So I listen to some beautiful music and all kinds of music, not just my music, all kinds of music. Right. Everybody's music, So, phew, that's a loaded question, Demetrius. Thank you for that question, and that's a hard one right now.
Yeah, no problem, man.
I don't know where I landed on all that, but
hey, we're here in the moment with you, man. We're feeling everything that you're feeling, because we're in a mess right now. We're in a mess, and music is supposed to be the universal language, so we have to use it. Yeah, have to use those tools. Yeah. All right, Eddie. So, which song has been the most difficult song that you have ever had to sing? Maybe it was a song that was very personal and difficult to speak on, or the vocals wasn't coming out 100% like you intended, or like how we do. We practice in our heads or practice in the shower, but when we get in the studio, it's completely not what we imagined. But take us through the struggle you have had and how you were able to overcome the difficulty to finish the song with the results you were happy with.
Right, yeah. Well, I've done a lot of, we talked about earlier that I've done a lot of performing on the stage. So my early training was, as a singer, was to project and to be big and to sing loud and, to sing all the way, all those phrases we've heard about, reach the back row of the theater, way up in the balcony, you ought to be able to be heard way back there. So that was the transition from that style of singing and that kind of singing and using those muscles, those emotional muscles and those physical muscles, to transfer that into the studio, where the delicacy of the microphone and the smallness of the world in the recording studio. So that transition was challenging for me. And when we first started working on the album, there were a lot of retakes and a lot of redos around that, just for that, because that journey of discovering what my voice sounded like in the intimacy of the studio took a little bit of while. So that was a challenge for me. And some of these songs that are on the album I've been singing for years. I've never recorded them, but I've sung them at concerts and I've sung them on the stages. So then to transfer them into the studio was a real challenging transition for me, because I had to bring the whole thing down, very small and very intimate, because you out there, you guys control the volume. I don't need to sing real loud, reach the back row. You can turn the volume knob up and I'll reach the back row. So, so that was a challenge, And then I would touch upon, briefly, I would touch upon this song, Hallelujah, which everyone knows, Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah. And now, well, I shouldn't say that. Maybe not everyone knows it. Maybe they're going to learn that song when they hear me sing it on the album. I hope there are some people out there who are willing to do that. And so Leonard Cohen's, the late Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah, who I want to say died the day that we finished my song, my recording.
Oh, wow.
November 7th last year, we finished recording Hallelujah on that day, which is also 3 days before my birthday. And it was a profound day. Both my music producer and I took note of it. And again, back to what you talked about at the beginning, before I even got on the air with you, Demetrius, you talked about right place, right time, and and being aware. And both of us were so acutely aware of what had just happened to us. And in the morning of that great man's passing, morning meaning the morning, not the day, not the time of day, but the morning of his passing, we finished our song, and we were both like, "Wow, this is fucking." Oops.
Oh no, you can do that.
I can say that word. This is fucking powerful, man. This is fucking powerful. So I wanted to share that. So in that, so then to answer your question, to get more back specifically into your question, I sang 5 verses of Hallelujah. 3 verses are not normally recorded, or haven't been recorded a lot. 1 verse has never been recorded of Hallelujah. And so, right place, right time, being aware, you bet, man. You bet. And so I want to read just one line.
Okay.
I did my best. It wasn't much. Couldn't feel, so I tried to touch. I've told the truth. I didn't come to fool you. And that to me is that's my life, man. I told the truth. That's all. And that's what I do in my music, And so in that, so much, so much in that song, but yeah.
Definitely.
Again, man, I had your questions are so full and rich, man. I love your questions. I just could go on forever with them.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So how about one of your most difficult acting roles? And I've seen your demo reel and some other things. Very impressive work. So how about it? Which was your most difficult role to play?
Yeah, I got well, I'll tell you, it's a current role that, you've seen some good stuff on my reel, but I haven't updated. I'm waiting for the footage to get edited to update, which will be happening very, very soon. But there's a role on there that I play a cop in interrogation, interrogating a young man who was who murdered someone, only to learn that his experience, it was a very difficult experience to be in an interrogation room, interrogating someone. This script is so beautifully written, and that world of interrogation, boy, that's tough. So that I would say that was a tough one.
Definitely.
Yeah,
and I've seen a few of your mugs. Most of them look pretty serious. Are you a serious actor, and are those the roles you typically go after?
That's a good question. Wow. That seems to be kind of where things are landing now. I've done a lot of comedy in my life, but I'm moving more towards the drama right now. Yeah. I'm feel real called into that part of the world of acting.
Yeah, I think that's where it's at, really, in the drama world.
Yeah, I love that late night, all that stuff, late night dramas on prime time. Oof.
Yeah, and there's like so much like human emotions involved in the characters. Like the characters are really humanized in a way in those dramas, man. They get me every time.
I agree. Me too.
All right, man. I have an original question for you. No, it's not that original.
Okay.
Pretty standard. So let's get those websites from you. Where can people find you, and what will they find there?
Yeah, well, all you need to do is Google my name. My website is, and you can find everything you want on my website, and it'll take you to all the other links. It's Eddie James W. So EddieJamesW.com. That's my website. And the W is just because because by the time I bought that domain, somebody else said Eddie James, I guess. I don't know. So I threw a W on it.
Yeah, I think there's a gospel singer by the name of Eddie James.
There is. Yeah, he can sell a lot. I've listened to his music too. I've explored all about him. I want to know all about him because he's got my name.
Yeah. Eddie James, meet Eddie James. No, that'd be weird.
That's right.
All right, cool deal. And just in case, guys, if you didn't catch that link, I have it in the description of the show. I did all the work for you. My fingers did, so thank me later. Yeah, just click that. Make sure you connect with him. Also included the IMDb link so you can watch those reels and see what he's been up to in the acting world. All right. How often are you reaching out, Eddie, through these online social media platforms? You know, this day and age is more about texting and clicking and liking. More, you know, not a lot of, you know, picking up the phone to call anybody these days. So how do you like to reach out through social media?
Yeah, boy, you are so right on, boy. This industry and this world is all about this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, and Instagram. Yeah, I do it all. I do it all as best I can. I'm on it every day. I'm out there finding out what's going on and telling people what I'm doing. You know, it's funny. I never used to be a texter, and now, like you said about the phone calls, I call you. What do you mean call you? I'm a faster, quicker. I can say it all. I'm a master. I am a master at texting. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I'm on it all. I do it all, and yeah, I'm totally out there.
Yeah. Which one is your favorite?
Well, probably I'm most skilled at, you know, Facebooking. I've got 2 pages, you know, or actually I have more than 2 pages, but, you know, the offerings through Facebook are really pretty extraordinary. The invites, you know, setting up pages, you know, most everything in the industry is being done through Facebook now.
Yeah.
You know, all the casting directors have got pages, and you kind of communicate to them that way. I mean, even auditions are going on that way now, happening that way. You know, communicating about the auditions. You know, all my classes everywhere that I study, we all just have, you know, a Facebook page. That's how we communicate. That's how we get our information. So I guess I'm probably the most versed on that one. Twitter's great because Twitter is short, sweet, and to the point. You know, you can't go on and on Twitter.
Yeah.
But I guess you can. People do it, but, you know. But yeah, I guess I would consider myself a Facebooker.
All right.
Sure.
And man, have you ever thought about like, well, put it this way, like in the 80s, the 90s, like directors were inaccessible. Like you couldn't reach them without going through the proper channels. Yeah. Nowadays, you can just Facebook somebody.
Yeah.
Or tweet at.
Absolutely, man.
Like tweet at Donald Trump, you suck, and you know, 100%. You know, he would check that as like, okay.
Exactly. I don't even want to. He came up the other day on a feed like, you know, follow him, and I turned my head.
Yeah.
I turned my head and scrolled the page. You know, I just can't even. So, but yeah, you're right. The industry is very transparent now in that regard. So, you know, casting directors are accessible. Agencies are, you know, agents, managers are all accessible that way. It's how I find all my representation over the years. How I found it all was, or not over all the years, but, you know, over the last couple of years, I found all my representation going through social media. Just, you know, offering who I am to them that way, you know, and then sending my information through that way. But it's great for introductions. Social media. And you know, the star meter, you guys, do anybody out there know, or do you know, Demetrius, about the star meter? The whole thing, the star meter, like for an actor on IMDb, we have star meters, and it indicates how many times my page gets visited. So my star meter will go down. And so casting directors and directors and agents, they'll look at that to see how popular I am.
Right.
Sometimes when making a decision around casting. You know,
I didn't know
how many
that.
followers might I bring to that, that film or that TV show? How about that?
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. It's pretty intense, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like if my value as a person in this industry is determined by how many likes I have.
Yeah.
In some regards, and not overall, but it's the way of the world right now. It's what we're doing. It's what's happening. So, when people are spending multi-million dollars on a film and they're casting actors, they want to know what that actor is going to bring in terms of his popularity to that film or TV show or whatever. So, I get it, but boy, that's the challenging side of the business.
Yes. Oh, man, I can attest. I've been an executive in alternative rock and hip-hop, and from units mattering like 10 and 12 years ago, now it's more about image. How many fans interact? They don't care if they didn't sell one single song. Are the people sold on this person's character?
Yeah. Wow.
That's what it's all about.
Same thing. Yeah, same thing. Yeah.
All right, guys, after the music break, it will be time for our usual tradition. It is called the hot seat, and our fans love this part of the segment, and of course, along with the actual interview, but the audience get to hear either Eddie James sing, maybe has a poem or inspirational speech, spoken word, maybe you can freestyle rap, who knows? Or maybe you have a joke or a story, or maybe you can play a live instrument. Well, you never know what these creative minds and vessels will produce in the spotlight, and this morning we'll find out if Eddie James have what it takes to be put on the spot, a test of his true artistry, and maybe even some hidden talents. But for right now, we have Eddie James with this song called Hallelujah. We'll be right back.
There was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do ya? It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall and the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof. Her beauty and the moonlight overthrew ya. She tied you to a kitchen chair. She broke your throne and she cut your hair, and from your lips she drew in vain. I don't even know the name, but if I did, well, really, what's it to ya? There's a blaze of light in every word. It doesn't matter which you heard, the holy or the broken. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. I did my best, it wasn't much. I couldn't feel, so I tried to touch. I've told the truth, I didn't come to fool you. And even though it all went wrong, I stand before the Lord a song with nothing on my tongue but hallelujah. Maybe there's a God above, but all I've ever learned from love was how to shoot somebody who outdrew ya. And it's not a cry that you hear at night. It's not somebody who's seen the light. It's a cold and it's a broken
Hey guys, and we are back again. That was Eddie James with this song Hallelujah. Man, oh man, oh man, I think I've heard the voice of an angel. Oh yeah, it was that sweet. Gabriel, you better watch out. Yeah, cool song, guys. Make sure you cop the album Courage and Tenderness by Eddie James. So I want to talk to you guys about being unique. Oh yeah. So in today's world, the old rules no longer apply. Me and Eddie were just talking about this, about how it's so easy, you know, the industry is transparent, it's so easy to reach out to people. Businesses that have prospered for years are dropping like flies. Did you notice that? Oh yeah, I could tell you. So I had a franchise, a Radio Shack franchise. I could say that now because it's gone. Yeah. So the business river completely dried up, and I had to sell and get out of the business. It was the only thing to do because of change. And sometimes old companies that have been around for 90 years, they don't want to make that change, or they make it too late, and then it's over with. They can't recover because they're already millions and millions of dollars in debt, right? So there is an upheaval in business, a revolution going on in the marketplace. All the old business models are being thrown out the window. Innovation is occurring so fast that it can hardly keep up with itself. The computer you buy today is an antique in less than 6 months, so the value goes down. The knowledge you have spent years learning is no longer applicable. You know how I know? I can go on YouTube. Yeah, and learn everything basically that people go to school for 4 years to learn for free on YouTube. Man, mad world. Yeah. The only thing that you guys can count on is change. Things are going to change and continue changing rapidly. So how do you cope with that? How do you prepare yourself for that? How do you live and prosper in such a world? It used to be that to get along, you had to make yourself fit in, go to the right school, earn the right degree, appreciate the right music, join the right country club, belong to the right church, marry the right mate, and associate with the right people. That was the formula for success, and it worked very well, for like 1940s, 50s, 60s, that kind of thing. There was a success track that you had to get on, and if you stayed on that track, go to school, get married, go to church, have kids, you were on the road for success because that was basically all you need. Well, no more. That world is gone. Fitting in no longer matters. Yes, you still need contacts and you still need to do networking, but you can no longer get by just by fitting in. For one thing, there's no place to fit in anyway, if you think about it. Yeah, think about all the social groups. There's so many misfits inside of those. It's like, why is there a social group? I don't know. Things are so chaotic that fitting in is just not an available option. You must be unique. And me and Eddie James talk about this also, about the uniqueness, the star meter. The fans, the people who appreciate your work have to be drawn in. You must have something of value to offer the marketplace. With instant global communication, people in the market can easily seek out the best and the brightest. Now ask yourself, as a consumer of goods, do you demand anything less than the best? Of course you don't. You want what's work. And everybody knows around Christmas time, the most unique toy gets the most sales. Not the bland and same old toy of yesterday, of yesteryears. No, the toy market is a very true fact to what I'm saying. Look at how it changes. Last year's Christmas toy is gone. You think you can buy your kid a Tickle Me Elmo? What is that? Yeah, that is how fast the market changed because of uniqueness. The nature of the marketplace is changing dramatically. And if you don't have something unique to offer, you are out of business. You must have a way to, distinguish yourself. Being unique is no longer an oddity. It is very essential to success. So from me to you, embrace your uniqueness. What others call weird, I tell you, it will be in style in the next 6 months. Back in high school, I was dirt poor. Okay? So my parents would buy me like a pair of name brand shoes that came out 7 years ago. Yeah, I used to get laughed at. Oh, you got old shoes. That's okay. Guess what? I set the trend for people wearing retro stuff. Yeah, retro is in style now because I set that trend way back then. I like to think that. I mean, it may not be true, but it helps me, okay? Don't judge me. All right, so let's bring the man of the hour back on. Eddie James, you are now live in a hot seat with us. What do you have for us today?
Hey.
Hey.
That was great. Hey, I love that. That was really great. You talk about uniqueness and bringing it, and yeah, I love that.
Thank you.
That's powerful. Yeah, that's true. Boy, that's true. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bring it.
Yeah. So what do you have for us today in the hot seat segment?
Oh, gosh. What do I have for you today in the hot seat? What do you want?
I mean, you can sing for us, maybe do a poem or inspirational speech. Maybe you can rap.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I have a unique, slightly unique part to my voice. I have what is called a countertenor range.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people recognize it as a falsetto. Some people recognize it as, head voice. I can do a lot of, the male voice, we're familiar with the sound of the male voice when it sings down here. You heard my voice sing, and then suddenly, I can do I can also do a go way up there. I can sky and go way, way up on the top of the piano range.
Wow.
And do that kind of stuff.
Nice.
I can bring that. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I got. I'm a kind of guy who, I loved how you talked earlier about awareness. This is a big word for me in life, and you're bringing that to this whole conversation today about how we show up in the world and how I'm walking through the world. And I had a great poem I'd love to share with you guys. Some of you may have heard it. If you have not, then please let me give this to you. And it's called "Dear Human." Yeah, it's called "Dear Human." So this is it. Dear human, you've got it all wrong. You didn't come here to master unconditional love. That is where you came from, and that is where you will return. You came here to learn personal love, universal love, messy love, sweaty love, crazy love, broken love, whole love, infused with divinity. Lived through the grace of stumbling, demonstrated through the beauty of messing up, and often. You didn't come here to be perfect. You already are. You came here to be gloriously human, flawed and fabulous, and then to rise again into remembering. But unconditional love? Stop telling that story. Love is truth. In truth, it doesn't need any other objectives. It doesn't require modifiers. It doesn't require the condition of perfection. It only asks that you show up and do your best, that you stay present, and that you feel fully, that you shine and fly and laugh and cry and hurt and heal and fall and get back up and play and work and live and die as you. It's enough. You. It's plenty.
Man, that is awesome.
Isn't that beautiful?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That is awesome. All right, so it seems to me that this might be the perfect time to ask you about that red carpet event, album launch party in LA on September the 7th, which is right around the corner. Where will it be held? And is this like an invite only, or can anyone pull up?
Anybody can pull up, yeah. It is at Busby's East. It's on Wilshire, 5757 Wilshire Boulevard in Los Angeles, California. It's Busby's East at 57... No, that's not right. That's not the right address. No, Busby's East on Wilshire Avenue in Los Angeles, California. Just disregard this number since you're up there. Cool. Yeah, it's September 7th. Anybody can come up. Yeah, we're asking that people RSVP. If they go to my website or any of those links that we were talking about earlier, they're going to find that invite. And that they do RSVP, but it is a free event and anybody can come. And it's an evening. It starts at 6 o'clock. It's a red carpet launch party. And we're going to do two red carpets. So if you ever want to work a red carpet or walk a red carpet, show up. And I'll give you all the time you want. I'm there. I will be there to share in all the glory. And you want to strut on my red carpet, come on over. We're going to party. We're going to go upstairs. We're going to party. Got lots of entertainment. I'll be playing a lot of my songs. And we're going to eat and drink and celebrate this launch. I've been working on this album for about 6 years. I've been conceiving it and dreaming about it for 25 years. And wow. It's happened. And so I want to celebrate, and I want everybody to come and celebrate with me. Even if I don't know you, come on. Come on up, and we'll get to know each other.
Nice. Open invitation, everyone. So please head over to the website and make sure you RVSP as well. Man, I love red carpet events.
Yeah, they're fun. That's the way out here in LA.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Oh, yeah. All right, everybody. Eddie James, the incredible Eddie James with the angel voice. That's what I'm going to call him from now on. Eddie James, angel voice.
Oh, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, my Vigilantes family, as always, for checking out my podcast over here at Vigilantes Radio. All episodes are available for free download, and you can grab it from either Spreaker.com/only1media group, iTunes, YouTube, the app called Podcast Addict, or our website, which is only1mediagroup.com, and that goes for every single show that we've ever aired. If you'd like to request music or send something for us to play, email it to theradio@only1mediagroup.com. Here's my disclaimer. We are genre-free, we do not judge, and we absolutely do not base our opinions on hearsay, but facts alone. And actually, you can scratch all of that because all of my opinions are always right. That's the bottom line. This is my show, something you got to deal with. Nah, just kidding. On behalf of myself, dini-mussolini, I appreciate you guys for tuning in, either afterwards or live with us. Spread the word because sharing is caring. And also special thanks to our guests for joining us. We stepped up our game just for you guys and our guests to make sure you have the best experience here on our show. Be sure to connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Tumblr. We are all over. Just connect with us and we do follow back. Okay, well, just remember to be yourself and be absolutely freaking great at just doing that. Peace.
You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, the people's choice for quality interviews, art, music, and hot topics. Hosted by Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds of the duo No Longer the Hero. All episodes of this podcast are available for free download at www.onlyonemediagroup.com. This is a Seventh Sign Regime Rebirth Worldwide Syndicate exclusive.